Lord, we thank you for this service in which we can encounter you physically and spiritually in our lives. I pray, Lord, that you give me the words that you would like to impart to your faithful people here together, so that we might live our life according to your love and your grace. Almighty Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. Please take out one of the Bibles, if you like, and open up to page 928. The Gospel of the Lord that was proclaimed by the Holy Evangelist St. John, the 9th chapter. The 3rd verse reads, Jesus answered, neither this man nor his parents sinned, but that the works of God should be revealed. أجاب يسوع حتى أخطأ ولا أباوه لكن لتظهر أكمل الله فيه. Christ is risen from the dead, traveling down death by death. Jesus said, neither this man sinned nor his difficult things. Difficult things sometimes happen. And they happen for a reason. It's not always because you've done something wrong. They happen so that we can learn that we are dependent on God and how much He does love us. I want to confess to you, or share with you, and I'm not looking for pity. I'm just sharing with you. The last 2 weeks have been really very difficult. A trip, from AG double hockey sticks, and I came back on there Saturday. The trip, and I was sick the whole time. It's my mom. The plane coming back 4 hours late. It's my mom. The luggage, 1.5 hours waiting for the luggage. This is my mom. 3 hours or less sleep last Saturday. This is my mom. Finding out when I called the church that the air conditioning wasn't working. This is our problem. This week, every effort, and I'm not going to go through it all, to get the air conditioning running was met with defeat. Then yesterday, almost at the 11th hour, my dear brother, Father Juan Carlos, who was in the air conditioning business, found a company. They came out. After Vespers, I've been home. They were still working on it. And I want you to know, without complaining, the bill's going to run almost $5,000. This is not a church that has money to throw away. When I went home, we're still apprehensive as to what was going to happen. And I remember I had a very large icon. It's huge. You see that icon in my dining room, because it's a 2-story house like that. It's a very large icon of our Lord Jesus Christ. And the first time this young lady saw it, she said to me, Father, who's that? I said, well, she said, who is that? You see that? I said, it's Jesus. She said, I never saw him wearing a crown. I told kings wear crowns. So I looked up at that large icon, and the icon is there to make a statement that the ruler of this house is Jesus Christ. I stretched out my hands and I said, in the name of Jesus Christ, I rebuke you, Satan, for all that you have put us through. I rebuke you. Get away from our church, get away from the elders, get away from all the people who are in the church, and get away from me. And thank the good Lord, the air conditioning is running. But the point is, you might say, why did that happen? I will tell you honestly, it did not happen to make me aware of God's blessings. Because I got to tell you, Kevin, every Sunday, when I'm in here and I hear that running, I'm thanking God. Most of you that have air conditioning in your houses, I have air conditioning in my house. You have air conditioning? You have air conditioning? Only I don't run my air conditioning. I haven't run my air conditioning for probably 20 years. And I'm not a Satanist masochist. I'm just cheap. So I have an air conditioner here, about 3 places in the house. It's sufficient. It's the rooms that I'm in. But my point is that even if I have the air conditioning on in the bedroom, in the middle of the night, so often I'll wake up and say, thank you, Jesus, that the air conditioning is running. So what happened to us should make everyone in this community, those who are here, those who are not here, think about the blessings that God gives us. And that's why this happened. This man was not born blind. Because of any sin he did, contrary to Western theology, original sin is not mean that a baby born is born with the stain of sin. Sin is only sin if you commit it. And how do you commit it? We'll get to that in a minute. By cooperating with the evil one. Babies don't cooperate. I'm sure sometimes their mothers may think when they kick inside of their stomach, like crazy, that the kid's possessed, but he's not. Original sin means that we are born into a sinful world. The reason that we want to baptize babies 40 days or after, as soon as possible, is not because I think they die. They're going to go to some place called purgatory, or worse, hell. What kind of a God does that? What kind of a God would take a baby born that didn't get baptized and send them to hell? Not the God I know, not my God, maybe somebody else's God, but not our God. So the point I'm bringing out is that in order to sin, we have to cooperate with the devil. So when he says here, nobody sinned here, it was to make manifest the works of God. That's what happened in Scripture. Those people, and not everyone is in this category, but there are some people in this community that truly are concerned for the well-being of this church. Truly concerned about this community. Truly motivated to deny themselves, to sacrifice for the sake of this church. Those people, maybe God would say to them, I want you to know how much I love what you're doing. But the rest of us, we need to sit and think sometimes of things that we take for granted. We take for granted. I remember I watched a movie many years ago. It was called Red October. And it was the story of these Russian submarines that were going to defect to the United States. And the French officer says to the captain, anticipating that they're going to be living in the United States, he said, is it true that you can go from one state to the other without being stopped and showing your papers? As they did in those days, I guess, in Russia? He said, yes. We take it for granted that we can drive from Florida into Georgia, into South Carolina, into North Carolina, into Virginia, and so without anybody stopping us. We felt it a little bit in the pandemic. In the pandemic, there were states that you could not get into, especially flying. If you flew into New York, or you flew into Connecticut, or you flew into New Jersey, you were going to be stopped at the airport to prove that you did not have coronavirus. That was something I had never experienced before. So things happen sometimes. Instead of thinking, what did I do? Maybe God is trying to remind you of how much that He does. It goes on, it says in verse 5, as long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. ما دمت في العالم فأنا نور العالم. Light. We have lots of lights. You all working? Huh? You may have one now. What is a light? A true light illuminates our life. A true light illuminates our lives. Yesterday, I had a wedding rehearsal here with President. Before that, I went to visit our sister Lulu Yakub in the hospital. If you love Lulu, I would suggest you get to the hospital very quickly. Because this week, I believe the Lord is going to take her. And I went there to confess her and to give her the Holy Communion, and we talked. And I explained to her something I know she already knew. I said, Lulu, your body is worn out. Your body is racked with cancer. Your body has been fighting this and it's come to the end almost. You, my dear, are not going to die. Now, if you don't believe that, you can go home right now. If you don't believe that after the body dies, the soul goes on, you might as well go home right now or stay to learn how it does. The fact is that your soul, Gabby's soul, Jean's soul, your in the 60s, the boy, these are nuts, that said God is dead. And there were millions of people in this country that believe God, and they said God is dead because if God was alive, he would never allow all these things to happen. Well, when my kids would drive me crazy, it wasn't because I was dead and I didn't slam. I just figured, okay, I'll get through this. God cannot die. That's one of the reasons that it's God. He can't die. So what did God do? He made us in his image. That says that we, the image of God is not this body, especially not this one. It's the soul. That's the image of God. And that soul cannot die. So I said to her, I said, you're going to want. You're leaving this stinking body alone because it's finished. It's had enough. And she was very receptive to what I was saying. As a matter of fact, I explained to her, I said, Lulu, we're probably going to have a meal of mercy after your funeral. And I said, how could you say that, Father? I think she knows. She did. I said, because I love you so much, I'm going to make for myself some kidney name because you won't be there to make it. She started to laugh. Then her daughters came in. I told them the same thing. One's a doctor. The other one was still in university. I said, you know, God loves your mother so much. And people like Gavin and Janice and those of us that know Lulu well, she's really suffered all the time with the cancer. I said, God loved you so much that he kept you so that you could go to your daughter's wedding, so that you could go to your daughter's graduation. And the other daughter's there, the other daughter. I said, but I want to tell you something. Your mother will see you married. Your mother will see you both have children. Your mother will see all these things, only you will not see her seeing them, but she will see them. That, my friends, is a knowledge that comes from a true light. Are there other kinds of light? Yes, there are. Satan's light does not really illumine anything but his lies. Satan's light is there to get you to see what his lies and what his tricks and what he's trying to do as being real. That's the light that the majority of the world is following. That's the light that millions in America are following. That's the light that's shown to the man that massacred children in Texas and in Buffalo and all the other places. That light that showed this was a good thing to do, this was the right thing to do. When people follow Satan's light, not only do they stumble in darkness, they're committed to living in darkness. And the only way to get them out of darkness is to light the light of Christ. Christ's light is not arbitrary, it's the only real light. I know this. I'm not a fool. I know what I'm talking about. I've been following that light for a long time. And I will tell you, my brother preaches my book, and so tell me, and I tell them that I say this, and this is true. For 49 years plus, I've been a priest. I've been a priest in this church for 49 years. Now, last Sunday, I was kind of tired. So maybe I wasn't so, to jump out of bed to come to church, because I was tired. But this morning, like all the other mornings, 49 years of mornings, I get excited as a kid going down to Disney World, or going to, what's the place called? Universal Studios, or going, not the beach, but I'm at the beach. But the point is that I get excited. How many people do you know that do the same thing week after week after week after week for 49 years and still get that excited? Why? Because that light is my life. And that's what I want you. I want you to have, Ryan, that light that's not easy to see it, because the light of Satan is all over the place. It's filling everything. We can't even discern anymore. That's why we pray. That's why we come to church. That's why we receive Holy Communion, so that we can tell the difference of the lights. Because Satan's light is a lie. It looks good. And people become addicted to that light. Harry, I'm coming to you. I don't know if you know the answer to this. You do good, you don't. No. Because this really blew my mind this week. Harry, do you know how much a package of cigarettes costs?
Yeah, about $6.
Well, you was talking cheapers.
I was a kid, you were like,
I mean, when you were a kid, we were got $1. Does anybody know the price of, say, Marlboros? Anybody? $9 a pack. That's almost $100 a quart. And I asked somebody, because I don't know. I said, why is cigarettes so much? They said, taxes. You might think, oh, the government, they're trying to get you to stop smoking. They're trying to get you to stop killing yourself with cigarettes. I wish they put that kind of a tax on McDonald's and all the other junk food places that are killing people in this country that keep eating stuff that is killing them. The point that we're at is that how can you talk? I mean, I think it was Michelle Obama, one of them, their programs to get kids to exercise and eat properly. How much do you think that a message like that, remember that, I think it was Nancy Reagan whose message was, just say no like the drugs. The amount of propaganda, of commercials, of movies, of all this media stuff, trying to get people to do the wrong thing is unbelievable. We're really a voice in the wilderness. We're just a little voice. Just a little voice. So much is against us, but so much is against you. You know, the Sanhedrin, they thought they wiped out the Christians. If you listen to today's epistle, okay, when St. Paul went around the sides, they really got angry. You know, we told them at the part where they said to St. Peter, stop preaching in this name. And Peter said, I can't, and they threw him in jail. So the point is that the people that are doing the things that they shouldn't be doing, they don't see it any differently. That's the light that Satan puts out. And Christ says, I am the light of the world. And finally, in verses 37 and 38, and then Jesus said to him, you have both seen him, and it is he who was talking with you. Then he said, Lord, I believe, and worship him. Now, if we believe, we are ecstatic with love, and will worship and adore Christ. How many of you, look, I can answer the question. Vicky? I know it's not. Do you ever buy the state tax, lottery tickets? Every time. It's when you like, feel like throwing away money. Yeah. Just want to get rid of it. Yeah, let's give it to church. Because you're going to get a better one from the church than from the lottery ticket. But if a person wins, they're pretty, right? Did you ever win a big lottery? What do I call big? More than $1? Like $1,000? Anybody ever won a large amount of the lottery? How many people buy lottery tickets? Be honest. Well, put your hands up. Come on. How many people buy lottery tickets? I want to thank them here in the state of Florida. Okay? You keep buying them and you don't win. You can't win. Do you know that of all the people that won large lottery payments, I only know of one that it didn't destroy their life. One. They made a foundation, they did some good. The rest of them, it totally destroyed their lives. So people want to win, and they get very excited, but the point is that it destroys their life. So if you, and let me ask you, it's not basic, it's the truth. Do you love your husband?
Yes.
How much?
Lots.
What's lots?
Lots and lots and lots.
Okay. Do you get ecstatic about that relationship?
Ecstatic? Sure. I'm still only been married 4 years.
Point is that when you love someone, I went to see my granddaughter. She's an adorable child. You can ask Alec and Sophia. If I said to Alec and Sophia, are you ecstatic about your baby? Say yes. We should be even more ecstatic about Jesus Christ. The husbands, the wives, the sons, the daughters, the mothers, the fathers, the friends, the money, all these things should pale in comparison to Jesus Christ. But if I say to people, I don't need to say it because it's the right answer. If I went to here and I said, are you really ecstatic, crazy, wacko, bonzo, whatever word you want to use, for Jesus Christ, they'd say nothing. But if I offered them money, if I offered them an expensive car, if I offered them something that they really wanted, because our desires and our wants have been conditioned. What are we conditioned to? Material things. Why? Because this country's economy is based on people buying. Buying. We invented planned obsolescence. We invented changing cars every couple of years so that people keep buying new cars. We invented, more so than anything else, advertising. You know that in the Soviet Union, they hardly had any advertising. They didn't have much product, but they didn't have much advertising either. But in this country, we have advertising. So what I'm getting at, my friends, is that we get excited about things that are transitory, not about things that last. You said to me, Father John, what are you ecstatic about? I can tell you I'm ecstatic. I mean, most of you know me. I'm ecstatic about this church. Yes. I'm ecstatic about my families. I'm ecstatic about you. You don't know that. Most of you do not realize the depth of love that I have for you. You really don't. Because I don't know how you measure it. But I'm most ecstatic about Jesus Christ. I'm most ecstatic about Jesus Christ. Because Jesus Christ is everything. Anything good in my life, anything good in your lives, is Jesus Christ. That is why, of the three monotheistic religions, which all came from the Middle East, the only people that are capable of forgiving actions done against them by others are Christians. Muslims, Jews, no, because they don't understand. We are able to forgive because He forgave us. We are able to be better people in kindness to people because Christ was kind and loving to us. Remember, this is the last Sunday of the Gospel season. All this up here which is Christ is using the large candle, they'll all be gone by next Sunday because this coming Thursday is Ascension Thursday. But in reality, these words should only be deeply engraved into you, not only your hearts and minds, but into your lifestyle. Your lifestyle. If you do that, your life will be a life, and not just an existence. In the Father, Son, and